Good afternoon, everybody. It is Excel for October 17th, 2022. We actually had planned to do it early this morning, but Joe got pulled into a class for about 5 minutes last minute, so we had to push it back just a little bit there. So sorry about that, but like we said, it's when our schedules can match, and Joe's always in demand, so excuse me.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, that's a good thing. I shouldn't have drank in a Rockstar just before I started. Again, they don't pay us or anything. It's one of my favorite flavors, the juiced ones. Not brought to you by Rockstar whatsoever, but I should not have chugged that just before we started the show. But yeah, so today we're going to be doing Excel calendars for 2023, just creating, how to create a calendar for your guys' self to get the next year started. Because honestly, it's almost here. I mean, if you're here in the States, you already see all the Christmas stuff up and everything like that. There's no room for Halloween anymore. There's no room for Thanksgiving. As soon as September hits, Costco's got all the Christmas trees and everything.
Santa Claus, reindeers, everything.
No. So that also means that the new year is upon us, and we wanted to. This is actually something that we've seen a lot of people ask for, is how to create calendars and stuff like that for 2023 in Excel. So Joe's going to show us that today. I'm just going to give you guys some quick updates. It's pretty much the same updates you guys got on Friday. We have the courses coming. This should be this week. I know they've been testing them out because I've seen some numbers run on it. So they're definitely being tested. Again, this is going to be a brand new feature that's available on our YouTube channel from YouTube. You'll be able to buy our courses ad-free, directly on our site. You won't have to go to Learnit Anytime. Although Learnit Anytime has all the courses for $14.99 instead of the $5 fee that we charge per course. That we will be charging per course on our channel. So, but you don't have to go there anymore. You can purchase the ad-free ones directly there. They'll all be lined up for you. It also has a special new player, so it's actually going to be a new way to watch videos on YouTube that are going to be exclusive to the courses. Again, I haven't had privy to see it yet. I've actually been very wanting to see what it looks like and wanting to see how the player is different and everything like that. They do remove all ads, all mentions. There's no cards. There's no way to stuff ads in there or anything like that. We actually removed a lot of filler type stuff as well in the videos. When I say filler, I mean basically like our shout outs, to like, subscribe and everything like that. Just so it's a completely, better education experience for everybody. So again, those will be coming very soon. We also have our TikTok channel. If you guys want to look us up there, it's Learnit Training, same thing. It's all our shorts that are on YouTube are on our TikTok as well. Been picking up a little bit of steam there, so big shout out if you found us from TikTok. And then finally, Joe, I'm springing this on you last minute. We didn't even talk about it before we started the show. Do you have your mug?
No, not yet. But you know what? I am moving into my new house. Finally, it's been a 2-month process. It has been horrible. So if you're buying a house, I feel your pain. But yeah, I'll have a new setup in the background. I'll have a better quality camera because I'll be able to have my full setup. So you might have noticed my quality went down in camera. But anyway, you're not here for the face. You're here for the
we'll running. It'll look beautiful. I do have my Excel today.
Yes.
Yeah, there we go. Again, you guys can buy that in the store if you want to support us. It really does help us. All the money goes directly into making more videos and everything like that. And so, yeah. And then finally, we have Project 2021 Advanced. This Friday, that's Trish Conner-Cato. She's a huge project fan, so that video will be coming out. And then we have Joe. You did Visio 2021. That's going to be coming up 2 weeks after that. And then I'm like 99% sure we're going to jump right into Adobe Captivate right after that. So if you guys are looking to make videos, using screen recording and everything like that, Captivate is definitely a great program for that. Dave Casuto did a fantastic series for us. It's going to be about 4 videos long, and if you know Dave's videos, they usually run about the 2.5 to 3 hours. So that's going to be about 8 to 10 hours of Captivate training for you guys, upcoming really, really, really soon. So that's
Dave is great.
That's all the updates. Yeah, Dave is great. We've had him on the show before. So if you guys want to see the face behind the voice, you can definitely check out the Excel Today show with Dave Casuto. You just look it up on our channel, Dave Casuto. It should pop up right there. But yeah, Dave's a really amazing guy, and he's killing it in fantasy football this year. If any of you guys play fantasy football, we have a And I did kill you this week, Joe. So
I know. I saw that. I'm losing. I'm losing horribly. But you know what? It's okay.
yeah,
There's always next year.
yeah. So that's all the updates and everything from me. The usual, producer drive, to support the channel and everything like that. But with all that being said, Joe, I'm going to kick it to you and have you take over for Excel calendars, dates, and whatnot for 2023s. Get people organized for next year, bigger and better things.
Yeah, we'll have a lot of fun. I'm actually going to throw in a bunch of keyboard shortcuts as well for all of you, just because I know how it can get when we're planning out and having like recurring schedules and meetings and things like that. So yeah, let's actually get right into it. I'm going to share my screen.
All right, just wait for that. It's
Joe joined.
Oh, I see it. Let me know when you're ready, Joe.
All right, good to go.
All right, there we go. The show is yours.
Awesome, thank you. So yeah, when we're talking about calendars, I mean, it's really, really relevant to what we're about to be doing anyway. In the next 2 months, we are getting into 2023. So you'll see here that when you first open up Excel, you'll get into your startup page. And I typically would say that when you're using calendars, you're going to be using the Microsoft's versions of the calendars. The reason I say that is because building out a calendar by itself, it's horrible. It's just a lot of back functioning, and you have to nest a bunch of functions inside of each other. You can create a basic one, but for it to work well, you're going to want to use the pre-created ones by Microsoft. So I do usually go into more templates and I click into the calendars. Right down here, they'll give you an offer of different suggested searches. So I do typically use calendars. Now, when you click into calendars, we have quite a few of them. We have seasonal calendars, academic calendars, any 1 year or year 1 month calendars. And the one that I'm usually utilizing, which I would suggest is my favorite, is this one right here, the Any Year Calendar, single tab for every month. This way, all of your months are in one tab. It's not a long scrolling list. You could just click into each one. January has a tab, February, March, and so on and so forth. So I do recommend using this one. They have this one a couple of different ways. So you'll see here there are a couple of them. You can pick and choose which one makes sense to you. But for today, I'm going to be using this one, Any Year Calendar, single month per tab. Now, once you do that, it pops this up. It tells you a little bit about it. And I'm just going to click create. It looks good. And here we go. We're already inside of this calendar. It's all set up for us. Now, the reason I love this the most is besides that color coding. How can you not love that color coding at the bottom there? Isn't it great? Each one of these tabs has its each month. So January, February, March, April, May, and so on and so forth. But really where it starts is in January, because this is where you'll see calendar settings. Now, I know you're probably thinking, Joe, that's not really like a clickable settings. That's because the way this is programmed by Microsoft, they nested the year here, which they call the calendar year, if you're into naming ranges, and then also the week start. Now, if you look into each of these, each number you'll see has a long, very complex formula inside of them. So they are using these huge, massive functionings that just are nested inside of each other. You'll see it's just very complicated to actually do. So if you wanted to create your own calendar, you can by sort of learning these different functions and then also realizing that these are named ranges, because calendar year is a named range for calendar year. And week start, you'll see they're even color-coded, is color-coded for week start. So if you wanted to sort of look at the backside of things, you're more than welcome to in these calendars. And it'll even tell you can't change anything because this is a template. They locked you from changing any of these, because if you change one little piece of it, the entire calendar will be thrown off. Now, they give you a spot. Once you click into the calendar, this is the actual formula to populate the number of the day. But underneath it gives you a spot to start typing things like meeting or whatever you want to type in there. So you do have a space to put in what your agenda is for that day. Now, not only that, another thing that I really like to do here is just showcase really how much thought went into the functions behind the scenes. For instance, if I enter in the year, let's say I don't want 2022. We've already been through this year. So we want 2023. All we have to do is change this to 2023 and press enter. And it will automatically know exactly which days go where, right? So everything's pre-installed. It's all ready to go. Now you can choose to start your week on a Sunday, or you can choose Monday, whatever makes sense to you. Typically, I go by Sunday. That's what I'm used to, but there's no right or wrong. Now, a couple of tricks that I want to talk to you about when creating this is the fact that you're going to put some reoccurring meetings on here, or reoccurring events are going to happen. And what I don't want you doing is something like this, because I've seen this and it's just a time waster. Let's pretend that I want to set up a meeting for every Friday. Every Friday we have a weekly meeting. So I'm going to type in meeting. Now I know people that will sit there and copy and paste this and copy and paste it. I wouldn't do that. It's going to take too long. What I would do instead is this. I'm going to first group all of these tabs together. See, when you group tabs together, what it does is it creates this little like book. And I'm going to use an analogy real quick. This is actually a fun analogy. My son is 6 years old. And what my son loves to do for some reason, he does it all the time, is he takes a marker, he opens up my notebook, right? So I'm going to draw a little notebook here. Don't make fun of my drawing. It's horrible, right? That's supposed to be a notebook. And what he does is he takes the marker and he slams it down like that, creating a nice dot on there. Now, because he slams it down, it leaks through the rest of the pages. So when you open up the next page, there's a dot. When you open up the next page, there's a dot, and so on and so forth, until it starts to, of course, go away. But why am I bringing this up? Well, because when you group worksheets together, it actually works the same way. If I group all of these worksheets by clicking on January, holding down the Shift key, and clicking on December, you will now notice that they all look like they're selected at once, because they are. And any changes I make on this one worksheet will actually leak through to the other worksheets, which can save you so much time if you're trying to do a repetitive process, like meeting. Then I can click into the next one. Meeting. Click into the next one. Meeting. And one more. Meeting. Or, you know what? I'll even go one more after that. Meeting. Now that I've done this, I put meeting on each of these. You might be thinking, Joe, so what? Well, watch how amazing this is. Because I grouped the worksheets at the bottom, if I just click on one of them, we now have on Friday for the rest of the year, meetings. How cool is that? It's such a time saver. And you can do this not only with a calendar, you could do this in Excel at any time. So it doesn't matter. You may have to go through and just check, because I know some days might be a little off, but let's see. Nope, looks like everything's looking good. So yeah, that's my little tip to you, is to group all of the worksheets so that when you're putting in recurring meetings, it leaks through to the rest of them. Okay, so that's just my one little thing there. Now, a couple other things when it comes to creating a calendar occurrence like this is sometimes we want to be able to take down notes. And one of my favorite things about these pre-existing templates is that if you notice at the bottom, you have a space to type in notes. So after you type these notes in, let's say I'll say January. January is, I'm going on vacation. Going on vacation. Let's say 1/8 to 1/12. Don't forget to call the house sitter. So I'm just leaving myself a little note. So this is really nice because we have a place to do this. But then afterwards, what I can do is I can actually go to the File tab, go to Print, and print this whole thing out. And look how nice it looks. Now you can print out all of the worksheets, or you could just print out one of them. So as you can see, I'm only printing active worksheets. Just be sure you click that drop down and say you want to print the entire workbook. A lot of people are under the impression when they go to File Print, it prints everything, but it's really not. So make sure you select print entire workbook, and then you'll have all 12 sheets. So there's February, March, April, and so on and so forth. Okay, so what else can we do? Well, I like to get a little themed going when we're in these calendars. That's just me personally. Who doesn't love a theme? So for instance, January. What's January? Well, for me, January is New Year's. So what I want to do is I actually want to put in here a little like theme. So I'm just going to change the color of all these cells. I'm going to change it to black. I also want to be sure to change the text to white so that we could once again see January 2023. And now what we can do is we can take this and we are going to insert an illustration, go to pictures, and I'm just going to search for something that feels like a New Year's. I'll select one of these, whichever one makes sense to me. Maybe that one looks good. I'm going to minimize it a little bit. And look at that. We have a nice little theme going, right? How awesome is that? So you can start to decorate these calendars if you want to. So fun little theme there. You're more than welcome to change any of the, of course, highlights of this. So if you did not like this color scheme, you can, choose a different one. But I like it. I think it looks good with the gray because this is going to be black. And then February, I might want to change February to like a bluish. So you're more than welcome to start to format these. Now, along with formatting, I do want to talk to you about conditional formatting because it is important in these calendars. You can actually color code everything within a calendar by using conditional formatting. Now, the way that we would do this is, let's say that I'll go over to Monday. Maybe Monday I have our YouTube show, Excel Today. Now, remember, I can just type this in. And then after that, what I can do is I can utilize conditional formatting, which simply means based off of a condition or a criteria, the appearance of the cell changes. So maybe I want my Excel today to be green, and I want all of my meetings to be in red. To do this, I'm going to select all of my calendar, and you can use that keyboard shortcut, Control plus A, which equals select all, A for all. That's how I always remember it. I'll do Control A. I'll go to conditional formatting, which can be found in the Home tab under the Styles command group. And you'll see right there, conditional formatting. When I click on it, I'm going to highlight cells that just simply contain the text. And I'll start typing in meeting. And make sure you spell it right, unlike me. And then I'll do whatever I like, whether I want it to be a light red fill or a light red fill without the dark red text. Or maybe I want to just simply customize this and really make it different. I'll fill it with a red color. And maybe I'll do, besides just a red color, I'll do a white font. And click OK. So now my meetings will all be in red. And if I change this, let's say I didn't call it meeting, I called it a birthday, right? It would change it back because based off of a condition, it changes it. So this is really nice. So I'm just going to change this to meetings or meeting. And then for Excel today, I'll do the same thing. Conditional formatting, highlight cells that contain a text that contains Excel today. Since I'm clicked on it, it's auto-filling it to save me time, which, we all love doing that. And then we can sit there and I'll change it to a green and click OK. So anytime I type in Excel today, it will now turn green. Now I know what you're thinking. Joe, can we do February and can we write Excel today like this? Well, we can't do that because then it's not going to work right, as you can see. And you'll see meeting, 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 and so on and so forth. So you do have to do conditional formatting on each. And sorry if my background's noisy. I have a lot of people in the house. You'll see here that we can use conditional formatting to then match the criteria and then match the formatting to it. But you do have to do that on each individual page. You cannot use that trick before that I taught you, where we can, select all of these and then put in like Joe here, and then it's going to be on all of them. And then I'll just do that again and delete that out. And there we go. And that is our calendars. I hope you all enjoyed that. I mean, I don't know. I love the way that you can use this pre-existing one. But yeah, I did see there was a question from Nayela. Nayela, hi, can you print all 12 months on one page? Not with this one, but yes, you can. Essentially, if you go to open up a new template, which one you're going to be using is the 12-month calendar. The 12-month calendar, what it does is it keeps it all on one page. Actually, you know what? Use the academic calendar. That one will be better. Let's go to calendars. Yeah, academic calendar will be nicer for you. There it is. So you'll see if you keep scrolling, it's all on one page. This is all 12 months on one page. It's the academic calendar. And then you can go to file and then, of course, print. And then you can print it there. If you really want it all on like one page, then what you would do is you would use a year calendar instead of using, of course, these academic ones. So I believe that is, let's see, one of these has them, and it's really awesome. Oh, there it is. So this is going to be all of the calendars on one page. Or you can use the business calendar or this one as a yearly. So they have quite a few of those, by the way. Whichever one makes sense to you, you can pick. I'll show you what that looks like, though. And there it is. And then all you would have to do is just put in your year, which would be 2023. Put in what month you want to start with, what day you want to start with. You'll see it says if you want to start with a Sunday, put a 1. If you want to start with a Monday, put a 2. So we could start with a Monday. You'll see now it's starting Monday through Sunday. And if I put in a 1, then we're starting Sunday. Sunday through Saturday. So hopefully that helps. All right.
I think that's it's all the questions we had. So if you guys have any questions, we will answer them now on any topic you guys want to ask a question on. Hopefully it pertains to calendars, but we're always open to any questions you may have. Excel, PowerPoint, Word. As long as it's within Joe's wheelhouse and potentially my wheelhouse. Sometimes I can answer some of these questions. Most of the time I can't, though, so I usually default to Joe. But we did also put up a poll for what topic we should cover next week, and currently Power BI is way ahead. So, Joe, I think we're going to have to do a Power BI show next week.
Sounds good. We'll have some fun with it. I love Power BI.
For all of you who voted for Power BI, what topics do you want us to cover in Power BI? Like, what topic would you like to see? Just because I don't want to do like a show we've already done already. I can direct you to maybe a topic we've already done, because Power BI is actually a very popular topic that I think we've had on the show quite a few times.
Yeah. We've
done. I think it is the most popular data visualization tool out there now. So. Here's another one. Can the calendar recognize an example? For example, Monday, Wednesday, Friday with different names in those days. Let me pull up the question again.
Can the calendar recognize a pattern? Okay, so you mean what exactly do you mean by that? So are you saying that you just want to see Monday, Wednesday, Friday with different names in those, or are you saying that you want it to be like abbreviation of Mon, Wed, Fry? Is that what you mean? Or do you just totally want to rename them fully?
Yeah, see if there's a follow-up on that. Nothing yet, but there's always a small delay on the OBS to YouTube. So hopefully we'll end for typing out the response. I can't imagine it too much just because I would feel like there's some limitations because, Excel wasn't really built as a calendar tool. But I guess if you built like an extremely custom one where you actually did all the coding, that would be a much different topic. It would probably take a few hours to cover building out like one purely like from VBA, meaning that I have the same meetings every week. However, they're different meetings. I think you could. Wouldn't that just be, you would just be putting in their different meetings. You would just put an individual entry for each one of those. And if you conditionally format it on each tab, then you could have it. So like you just type it in on each month. And then, so if it was something like, hey, like on Wednesday, I have my, my office meetings, and on Fridays I have my coffee meetings, and you wanted to have two at the separate ones. You definitely could do that, just with what Joe was showing with the basic entries there, and then with the grouping all the tabs, and then for if you wanted to have them color coded and everything like that, you would actually have to preset that on each page, unfortunately, with the conditional formatting. But let's get the screen back up.
Yeah, so what I would say is you can utilize that trick I taught you before. So let's say that you did have the same meetings every single week, right? Monday through Friday, right? So what you would do is start in January, hold down the shift key, and then you're going to go all the way to December and click on that. You'll just put in your meetings. Like, let's say I do have Excel today on the same time every single month. Like it's on Mondays. That's what we've now changed the show to. Not really, but just as an example. And then on Wednesdays, I have coffee meeting. What you can do now is after you have that, now you'll see it's pulling meetings because of the conditional formatting. So it is coloring it red because it contains meetings in there, which is great. So once you have these installed like this, hold down the control key and just move it down. Hold down the control key, move it down. It creates an instant copy. Hold down the control key, move it down. Hold down control key, move it down. And you'll do that just one more time. Hold down the control key, click and drag. Hold down control key, click and drag. Now click on any of these months and look how amazing this is. All through the months now, you have your reoccurring meetings forever. And there you go. That's it. So you can do something like that. Another thing you can do just to make this really fun is if you wanted to, you can use conditional or data validation. So if you go into the data tab, you go over to data tools command group, you can use data validation to create a list inside of this. And the list will just I'll call it a coffee meeting. I could call it Excel today, just separate each entry with a comma, Excel today. And then I'm just going to do a regular meeting. And then I can put in my quarterly meeting. And I think that looks good. And now, when I click the drop down, I can pick, is this a coffee meeting? Oh, yeah, I got coffee meeting. Or Excel today, or meeting, or quarterly meeting. So you can pick and choose exactly what you want. And there you go. Yeah, so just a couple of different ways to do that. Hopefully that helps. But yeah, those recurring meetings are really important. So if you ever want a pattern, just simply do it on one. Make sure you have everything grouped first, the worksheets grouped, and then do it on the one, and it will apply to all of them. So, yeah. Great question. Thanks so much.
Yeah, that was actually a fantastic question. Great thinking on the fly, getting the answer there, Joe.
Yeah, no worries.
Well, we are just about at time. We got about 45 seconds left, and I know we always run over. Hi, Ion. Thanks for joining us today. Dotan as well. Thank you for joining us today. I know it's kind of like a little bit of an off hour. Usually we try to do these early in the morning Pacific time, just because we know you guys are here early in the morning. But next week, we'll do something with Power BI. Maybe we'll do something with calendars in Power BI. Joe, does that work?
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I don't mind.
Yeah, just keep this calendar thing going.
It's about the calendars for 2023.
Yeah, 2023. Get you guys ready for next year. Data visualizations and everything like that. So we will cover Power BI next week. We're still the show is still going to be, as we're going to schedule it. We're trying to schedule this far in advance as we know, but we always say, our schedules have to meet, and then it's always in high demand. So it's really hard. It's really special to have them, here each week when we can, teaching you guys great stuff and everything like that. So we'll try to get that all worked out for next week. Hopefully we'll be able to do it in the morning. I'm more of a morning person myself.
Oh yeah.
That's why I was already chugging Rockstars just before the show started at 11 a.m. Pacific time. But anyways, if there's nothing else, we will see you guys next week, and we will be covering Power BI, which was the winner with 61% of the vote. Or 63%. Someone snuck a vote in right before I ended the poll. So yes, Power BI next week. We hope you guys learned a lot about Excel calendars. We hope we answered all your questions. And yeah, have a great week. And on Friday, Project 2021 Advanced. I will see you guys there. All right. Have a great one, everyone.